Are you down with OPP? ENHEIMER?
Yeah, you know me.
Welcome to an explosive episode of
Keith Horn's Chord of the Week.
The Christopher Nolan film Oppenheimer might just be his magnum opus. The score was written by one of my favorite film composers, Ludwig Göransson, seen here using his well-deserved magic trophies to redeem mankind from their sinful nature. He is a master of combining harmony, melody, orchestration, synth textures to create this very emotionally engaging type of score. Not to mention, he produced my favorite song of 2016, Childish Gambino's Redbone. Here's the opening of the cue, Can You Hear the Music? Now the scale is interesting and the pattern is interesting, but I want to focus on the harmony. What he's doing is combining a B minor triad and a C major triad to create a custom 6-note scale, a custom hexatonic scale with these 6 notes. And then back to B again. It sort of looks like a B Phrygian without the A. We could think of it as a G major with no A, starting in the 3rd note of the scale. Now what he does is takes it through a permutation, a numerical permutation of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 4. So if we take this scale and go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 4, that's the pattern he uses, and then he repeats it in the next position. And then it just speeds it up. And so on. This perpetual motion figure that cycles around and around, it gets faster and faster. It's always avoiding the A. And maybe it's because A stands for atomic. Now while this perpetual motion figure is going on, down here we have E minor, D major, C major, and A minor. It's, if we're thinking of it in the key of G, it's 6, 5, 4, and 2. Not necessarily in that order. He moves them around. We'll hear something like this, while all of this is going on top at lightning fast speed as it goes further along. Everything's diatonic. Nothing is outside of the key of G major or E minor, E Aeolian. And these lower chords really ground it, make it really accessible to the ear. Those are pop harmonies, basically. A 6-5-4 and a 2. 6-5-4, that is all over pop music. It's all over R&B music. You hear this kind of stuff all the time. Right? It's essentially what it is. Right, but he's alternating B minor and C major above that. So it's just usually something like this.
Make that up?
So that's the harmonic language he uses in Can You Hear the Music? This cue is like, it's the sound of excitement and danger and tragedy all happening at once. And that is the true story of Robert Oppenheimer. The story that's all about one man making a breakthrough that will change humanity forever and possibly destroy it. The stakes and the drama could not be higher.
Steak? Did you say steak?
And Göransson's use of rising tempos and expanding frequency range makes the cue sound like it's only accelerating forward and upward and outward. It sounds like something's about to blow, and we're feeling very emotional about it. That's what this cue does. To me, all these things combine together, and with that very accessible diatonic harmony, grounding it in the gravitas and emotion of the story and of the moment, it makes this cue a perfect study of well-crafted cinematic writing, and I think it'll go down as one of the most iconic pieces of film music ever written.
That's high praise indeed.
Now this video is not about how to play this, right? Because I'm not interested in performing this. What I want to do is break it down until I can extract something out of it that I can use. And what I can extract out of this is the idea of two triads that don't share any common tones. B minor and C major don't share any notes. So the idea that I can alternate between the two of them, it gives you a lot of compositional ideas. I mean, just that on its own. I mean, we could combine the two of them like this if we wanted. Or like this. Which actually is the Superman chord. We could alternate arpeggiating. Right? Or we could choose two different chords. We could do C and D. Now we have a different scale. Right? Just, I could combine those any way I want. It just opens up new avenues for compositional ideas, which is what these videos are all about. Trying to basically steal ideas and concepts from composers and use them for your own music, for your own vocabulary. Now later in the cue, we hear this chord too. G, C, D, F sharp, and B. Notice at the top, here's the B minor, and we have 2 notes out of 3 of the C major. So it's kind of like this, put together, but it's missing the E. So it's almost a vertical version of this. Right here. Right? So I point that out because you can see how many miles you can get out of just taking a couple triads, stacking them on top of each other. You can use them vertically, you can use them horizontally, you can use them for different number permutations, right? And still use diatonic harmony down at the bottom. Although he does end up using the A when he goes here.
You're a minor.
So let's take this through a couple exercises. The first exercise is to alternate between B minor and C major just by playing the chords, block chords, through all inversions, like this. B, C, B minor, C, B minor, C. And then we'll do it up a fourth in E, from E to F. E minor to F, excuse me. And from A to B flat. A minor, B flat. And then from D, I'll do one more. D to E flat. D minor, E flat. D minor, E flat, D minor, E flat. And the second exercise is to arpeggiate exactly what I just did. We can go up one, down the next. B minor, C major, B minor, C major, B minor, C major. Same thing in E. And then in A to B flat, A minor to B flat. So you get the idea.
Yeah, I get the idea.
You can do this combining any 2 triads, right? We could take C major and D flat major, and do the same thing: up C major, down D flat major. Right? It's very Egyptian sounding. Right? So it really opens up a lot of possibilities when you start thinking this triad and that triad together, making a custom 6-note scale. And the final exercise is I'm going to take this chord and run it through the circle of fifths. So basically I'm going to think of it as a B minor over a C fifth, which is inverted here, and take it through the authentic cycle like this. So that's how to understand the harmony behind Can You Hear the Music from Oppenheimer by Ludwig Göransson. And never underestimate the power of triads and combining them in new and interesting ways, because the world might even reward you handsomely for it.
Oppenheimer. Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah. Who this? This beat. Yo, who this? Yo, who this? Who this?